Verse 3. Then Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Speak thus to my lord Esau. He's calling his brother Lord now. Thus your servant Jacob says, I have dwelt with Laban and stayed there until now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, and male and female servants. And I have sent to tell my lord that I may find favor in your sight. Then the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to your brother Esau, and he also is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. So Jacob is, he sends all these messengers to say that he has all these things, because the last time they saw each other, Jacob took something away from Esau that Esau believed that was his. So he's telling his servants to say that I have all these things because I'm not trying to take anything away from you this time. But they come back and say that Esau has 400 men with him. And again, like I said, Rebekah said when Esau is no longer angry with you, I'll sin for you. Well, she never sinned. And actually, in that 20 years, she passed away. And so in Jacob's mind, Esau still wants to kill him. He's not done with him, right? So why would he have 400 men? So verse 7 says, So Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people that were with him and the flocks and herds and camels into 2 companies. And he said, if Esau comes to the one company and attacks it, then the other company which is left will escape. And I can relate to Jacob in this sense because Jacob had a plan, right? He sent the messengers. They came back with a message that made him fearful. So he already had plan B. And for me, whenever I try to do something, I have plan B, A, B, C, D, all the way, you know? And that could be a good thing at times, but the bad thing is it makes you sometimes go ahead of God, you know? Like you don't come to him because you think you have it all figured out. And Jacob snaps out of this because in verse 9 it says, Then Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, the Lord who said to me, Return to your country and to your family, and I will deal well with you. I'm not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which you have shown your servant. For I crossed over this Jordan with my staff, and now I have become 2 companies. Deliver me, I pray, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he come and attack me and the mother with the children. For you said, I will surely treat you well and make your descendants as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. So Jacob has his plans. He already has things going in motion, and then he stops and says, wait, I'm supposed to pray. And I don't know if you've ever done that before. Like I said, I get ahead of God sometimes. I do something and I stop and say, wait, I'm a Christian. I'm supposed to pray. I'm supposed to see God about this. And so, again, Jacob's walk is not perfect by any means, and we're seeing the progression in this chapter, but at least he came to the Lord. He came and he prayed to him, and he sought after him, his favor from him and protection. Psalms 50, verse 15 says, Call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me. So some of you are in a trial right now, and who are you going to? And again, those ungodly influences are not going to... You're not going to get a message from the Lord from them. So who or what do you call upon, run to at a time of desperation or in a time of need? Jesus said in Matthew 11, Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. He also said in John 6, All that the Father gives me will come to me, and the one who comes to me I will by no means cast out. And that's his promise to you in your time of trouble, no matter what time it is. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, the Lord's not asleep. You know, you can call upon him at any time and he'll deliver you, and that's the promise that he gives. So, and I've never seen anybody truly come to the Lord and the Lord said, no thanks, or no, I'm not going to help you, or it may not be the help that you want, but he will be there with you. Even if that's in the trial, he'll be in the trial with you. He may not deliver you from the trial, but he'll be there with you. And that's still deliverance, his deliverance. Oh, it's doing it twice. Okay, so again, Jacob shows faith here. And although it's not perfect faith, it's still faith. And oftentimes, hard times show us where we're at. It's kind of like a sponge, a dishwashing sponge. How do you find out what's in it? You squeeze it, right? Well, that's what trials are. We got a little bit of pressure in us, and whatever is in us, that's what's going to come out. And I've known a couple people within my life personally, within these past few years, that they have gone through some really hard stuff. And unfortunately, faith wasn't what came out when the pressure was applied. And but that's why we have to build our faith. So when the times come, build our faith when the times are good. That way, when the hard times come, that's what's going to come out. But how do we do that? Romans 10, verse 17, so then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. The more time you spend with the Lord and in his word and in prayer, and let it not just be head knowledge, but come to your heart, the more you'll know him, and the more you'll know his will for your life, and the more that you'll trust him. Because if I were to, if I were to tell my wife something and let's go on a trip or something, or I bought you something or whatever it is, and she says, well, help me to believe. I don't really believe, but I want to believe. That's going to make me feel like, man, what kind of character am I? Well, God's the same way. It's like, why would we doubt him? And the fact is, though, is because we may not know him like we should, and we all go through that. But the more you know God and his word, again, the more you'll trust him as you're living out his word.